As usual, we had complaints on YouTube about the idiots that come here, which always, I'm going to just address a couple of them. I'd be willing to bet my left testicle and $25 million cash that the people that make comments about the YouTubes don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. They're fucking boost, as my wife would say. I don't know if they have one O level or no O levels, but many are illiterate. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I didn't make $80,000 or $90,000 out of $450 million. I made $80,000 or $90,000 in my first $50 million in business because it was more important for me to do $50 million in revenue, irrespective if I made any money, because I would ride that horse of $50 million in revenue for the idiots on YouTube that don't do their research properly. Next, I tell you, don't say good morning to me, every group, because every group says fucking good morning. Because they don't like that story anymore. They don't like these, okay. Next, we do delete comments because we don't have time to answer all the fucking comments. And when people talk bullshit and talk lies and distort the truth, we just delete it. It's simple. So you're right, we do. And it's not 20,000 pounds for the seminar morons. It's 12,000 pounds. I said yesterday, I misspoke on that video when I was interviewed with Brian Rose. It's 12,000 pounds. All these morons pay 12,000, except for the students and veterans, that kind of thing, active duty military. But it goes to show, and the reason I bring it up, it illustrates a point. People, the same people that are detracting from Trump, and I don't know if Trump's speech was a good or a bad speech because I went to bed, I didn't listen to it. And it doesn't really matter. The people that are going to vote for Trump are because they're pissed off. You know, I'm pissed off and I'm not going to stand it anymore. That's just like the new prime minister here. You know, she's in because people are pissed off. And because people are pissed off with political correctness. And if you go back in history, Greeks, Romans, etc., people get pissed off. And they do ugly things. And they stab the president. And I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, manner, or form anybody stabbed the president in the Senate like they did to Caesar. You know, A2 Brute, when all the senators put a knife in him just so they could say, you know, not pick one that was going to be guilty of it. I'm not suggesting that at all. Although that does happen in third world countries and fourth world countries. And in my humble opinion, which isn't so fucking humble, is that that's the way society's going in civilized countries. This country, the United States, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a reason for it. Because at the end of the day, you all want to be liked. Now, it's interesting that you all want to be loved, and love just doesn't get the job done. Now, some of the pundits on YouTube, think I conned Oxford into letting me talk there, which I find amusing. And you're right, the deans of Oxford weren't there. The students were there. But those guys that have time to do that, it's because they're not making a living, they're starving to death, and they're miserable with their own lives. Because anybody that has as much time as some of the guys that follow me, I have no idea what they do all day. But if you're going to follow me, guys, get the information right. Okay? Do your research right. And one of the biggest complaints is why I don't talk about the kids after they leave here. For example, the young kid in the back of the room, don't show his face, who came here 4 years ago, who's done very, very well since he left. He doesn't want to talk to you assholes. He doesn't want you to know their name, his name. And that's why we started taking the last name off the testimonials, because people says all these assholes are bugging us. They're finding us on LinkedIn. They're finding us on Facebook. Some of the people are even using facial recognition software to find us. What the fuck? That's why none of the guys have their names, and we don't talk to them after they've left here after 1 or 2 years. This is an anomaly because the kid's back here after 4 years. And that's why we have no names on the Hall of Fame. We also have no names on the Hall of Shame, out of respect for the guilty. But they don't want to talk to you cunts because you're cunts. And all you can do is badmouth somebody that made a lot of money, and you think that I'm scamming everybody. And then, Ty, I don't know you at all. I don't know if you're a scamster or an honest guy. But now they compare me to Ty and say that Ty's a crook. I don't know if he is or not. I don't care if he is or not. Don't make a shit to me. He endorsed my book. Thank you, Ty, for that. But if you got nothing better to do than that, then something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's, desperately wrong. And it's beyond my comprehension. It's beyond my comprehension. And we're going to continue to do these things. But it shows that they spend more time. It's just like many of you know more about my life than I know. You, especially. Another guy with, I didn't know anything about Costa Grazos. I didn't know anything about Jim Newman. I didn't know anything about Jerry Ormond. I didn't research how many, I didn't do any of that shit. I don't know if Costa went to university or didn't go to university. Other than when we were in Greece last time, Sally and I, and so one of the mentees said, "Are you going to visit Costa's hometown?" Didn't even think of it at the time. But his hometown is now in Turkey because the Ottoman Empire, yada, yada, yada. And that's where he and Aristotle Onassis allegedly were born. But they don't have a statue to him or fuck nothing, But so I did go. And so whoever reminded me of that a few years ago, but I didn't know anything about him. I've had people email me over the years, "You knew my father better than me." Well, Costa says he has never had any kids. With his name. Okay? And he says, "You knew my father apparently better than I do. Can we have lunch? Can I buy you dinner? Can I give you a first class airline ticket to come and fly to me?" One guy lived in Paris. One guy lived, I forget where the other guy lived. And I didn't go because as far as Costa told me, I don't have any kids. So I took him at his word. And maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But I didn't know any of those things. And the kids know about me like it's, and I don't give a shit. I really don't. It doesn't bother me. My children say, some of these people, Dan, at my 70th birthday, know more about you than we do. And we're your kids. We're your flesh and blood. If you've got nothing better to do than that, something's not right. Don't you understand? And another thing, when I say I don't like you to read books, I've read Shakespeare, Tolstoy, Nietzsche. I've done all that. That's not what I mean. I mean read a book about bullshit so you don't pull the trigger. That's the books that you don't have to read anymore. And you're wasting your fucking time. And yes, I have read the Bible. I haven't read where's the Quran? Oh, yeah. Okay. Where's Allah? Okay, will you take a look at that and tell me if it's legit? You can open it up. I haven't. That Quran appeared 3 seminars ago on my chair. This is a new space chair my wife got me. She said the other one because it was falling apart. Nobody in the room said they put it there, but it appeared. And we're the first time opening it, and we have a Muslim physician who his name coincidentally sounds an awful lot like Allah to me, but I don't know how it got there, and nobody has owned up to putting it there. And we've got ghosts here, but I don't believe anybody. I don't believe that, and maybe it's because I don't want to believe that. I don't know. That's enough about that. But and it was some of the guys. And why are you so hard on these guys? Of course, they think you're cunts, but then they want to know why I'm so hard on you. Because life is hard, guys and gals. It's a tough motherfucker out there. It's a tough motherfucker. And for those of you that don't know that, you haven't been swinging at the plate. You haven't been swinging at the plate. It's a joke. And most of the stuff that's taught is a joke. It's not total lies, but it's misinformation. Because the first thing is the premise is that anybody can do it, which is bullshit. Anybody can't do it. And I said during the seminar, which is important, I'm going to say now, especially during the this pre-election thing, I asked the group here, how many of you have been asked or told when you were growing up you can be anything you want in life? And most of the guys raised their hand. And I said, it's a fucking lie. Because the caveats were you can be anything you want to be if you're in the right place at the right time, you have the right education, you have this, the right support, you work like a fucking dog, etc., etc. Otherwise, you can't be anything fucking thing you want to be. But they don't, your parents, they left that part out. And so you can't be anything you want to be. You can't. Unless you do, and there's hundreds of other things you got to do to be anything you want to be. To be anything that you desire in life, etc., etc. Just like, I said, you want to be a billionaire, change 1 billion lives. And you'll be a billionaire. Come up with something that changes 1 billion lives, you'll be a billionaire. And I guarantee some of you are working on big projects. There's somebody on the planet right now, as we speak, I don't know where, Belarus, China, South America, that's working on the exact same thing you are, that's ahead of your time schedule, and smarter than you. That I know. That I fucking know. And your launch is December 1st, and all of a sudden, September 18th, theirs comes out. And then you're fucked. I'm not telling you not to stop, or to stop, but I've seen it hundreds of times in my 45-year career. And I'm not scaring you to not do it. It's like apps. When I told the Oxford kids, every kid in that, it's not exaggeration, almost every kid in that audience had an app deal. Every motherfucker. Everybody talks about the 15 or 20 or 25 apps that make money. They don't talk about the 10 million apps that make nothing. So 10 million apps make nothing. 20, let's say 100 make money. So what are your odds? 100 out of 10 million. Pretty piss poor. But you know why everybody gravitates towards apps? Because it's easy. It's fucking easy. Everybody's got an idea. That's great. But I spent 3.5 years with a sophisticated team. These two kids were part of. And we looked at apps every fucking motherfucking way possible. And we determined that the odds were so astronomically against us, after 3.5 years of a sophisticated net team with really smart people, that it wasn't worth the time or the effort. 3.5 years. A lot of money. A lot of brain power. But you, keep at it, kids. Keep at it. The only people that make money on apps are the people that tell you how to make money on apps. That's it. There aren't any. There aren't any. But hope springs eternal. Because you can be anything you want to be, moron. Anything. You don't have to have all the requisite bullshit. It's like I tell the doctor, you can be a fucking surgeon, and cut on. And he said he did procedure. I like to say cut on him. The doctor said, yes, I do procedures. It's the same thing as being cut on, right? Anyway, he can be a cutter and slasher top physician like he is, but you don't have to do all that other bullshit to get there. It's the same thing. He knew when he wanted to be a physician, whenever it was, that he had a lot of shit to do. Right? And then you got to be at the top of your class, and you got to be this and that, and you got to pass all these fucking exams, right? Okay. Well, okay, you can be whatever you wanted to be, and you are now. Okay, YouTubers, talk to you later.